4th, 50th, and 51st districts for putting this on tonight and allowing us all to have a conversation. Please join me in showing our appreciation. To the candidates who came tonight, I thank you for your availability and willingness to be here and join our conversation. But more importantly, I thank you for stepping up, for being willing to put yourself out there and to try to make a difference. Whether you win or lose, we wish you luck. I'd like to explain the short history, I am nervous. I'd like to explain the short history of the Tea Party movement, who we are and what we are trying to accomplish. As David said, last March, I met with two men that I did not know, Rich and Lou, and we decided that we were going to bring a Tea Party rally in Norwich on April 15th. The following week, a lady named Linda joined us who we did not know. And the week after that, we had 15 more people come up that we did not know to join and try to get this going so that we could have a voice and have a say. The Tea Party movement jumped onto the national stage April 15th. With the holding of over 1,000 planned demonstrations across the United States with hundreds of thousands participating in it. Here in Connecticut, we had 3 major events ourselves, and it was estimated about 10,000 people statewide participated in one of the 3. A few things that made the event remarkable were, first, the majority of the organizers of these protests never did anything like this before and didn't know each other. We connected through the internet, word of mouth. We held weekly meetings on the phone, national calls in our states. We did it locally. We shared ideas, problems, and solutions. Here in Connecticut, we had a great group of people that, not knowing each other from across the state, got on the phone, sent emails, talking about how we were going to get this going, what were our problems, and we helped each other. We were emotional support for each other because we did not know what to expect. We all were nervous and we were all concerned about how we would be perceived and who was going to show up, if anybody would show up. But guess what? That's the second part. The citizens came. Those who had never participated in something like this. I mean, I met people who were in the 70s and young people who had never, ever took a stand once against the government coming there. They decided to decided to exercise their First Amendment constitutional right, which is to voice their concern to their government and protest what was happening. And contrary to what was being said out there, we were not organized by any political group. We did not have any funding from anybody. Everything that happened came from our own pockets. This was a true groundswell, a real grassroots movement, and that's what we are now. The Connecticut 2nd District Tea Party Patriots has gone from 3 to 1,000 members on our email list, and that's just on this side of the state. 1,000 people have expressed their desire to see a change in what's happening in our country and the hands of our government. We have held weekly mini Tea Party protests since the end of June out front of Representative Joe Courtney's office. We also hold them in Putnam and Willimantic. And across the state, there are 10 more that are being held every single week, and they will continue to be held until November Election Day, when we hope to have our victory. This past summer, we, the Connecticut 2nd District Tea Party Patriots, joined in with other organizations across the state. We're not just a Tea Party. We are a group of 23 organizations with memberships that allows us to work with each other and get our message out to tens of thousands of people in the state. So we're not alone. We do have other people who are concerned and who are trying to do something. One of the alliances that we have is with the Daughters, who are highly successful in their campaign against Senator Dodd. And they will have a new campaign against the new runner. Just wait and see. You'll hear all about it soon. We've also joined with other groups, the 912ers, the Rights Principles, the Hartford Tea Party, the New Haven Tea Party, the Connecticut State Tea Party, along with the rest of the organizations in the state. We do conference calls and we do meet generally. Last May, Congress thought that they would have had a cap-and-trade bill passed, signed, sealed, and delivered to President Obama by the end of June. That didn't happen. By the end of July, the same with the health care monstrosity reform bill that has nothing to do with creating better health care for all. Well, we all know how it's going for them. And it wasn't by their design that they would still be dealing with this bill, both of the bills, but by the fact that people like you and I stood up and started shining the light into the dark halls of Congress and what they're trying to do. Contrary to what Speaker Pelosi says, we are a grassroots movement. We to this day do not have a national leader. We do not follow any political party or business leadership. We are free from a top-down directive. We decide for ourselves what we're going to do and what actions we're going to take. Those of us who have joined together sought each other out. We spread the word and are even now learning the ropes to citizen activism, and we hope you all will join us on this journey. We don't have all the answers, but we do seek them. We're not going back to being silent, but we are willing to act on our information and our beliefs to effect change. And we are committed to change. Whatever is happening down in D.C. and up here in Hartford, Connecticut, a lot of the focus has been on the federal level, but we as a group need to also turn our eyes to what's happening in Hartford and what's happening to our state. Political leaders, media pundits, and special interest groups have ignored, vilified, chastised, and bullied us. For 10 months they've tried to shut us up, but to no avail. And if anybody knows me, all it did was set my jaw tighter and make my spine straighter. You could have saved them a lot of trouble, and I think you all are like that too. We are, and we will continue to stay this course, to stand up and fight the onslaught of the insidious erosion of our liberties, our freedoms, and our rights. Some have asked just who are the Tea Party people. Well, we're your family, we're your friends, and we're your neighbors. We're every one of you. We're people who are tired of politics as usual. Democrats, Republicans, and Independents are all in our ranks. I'm surprised how many times people have come up to me. I've heard more people tell me that they're a Democrat or an Independent than I've heard them tell me they're a Republican. We have stayed silent, believing that those who play the political game know better than us. We've been told that our elected officials know better than us. We've been told to trust them. Well, we believed, we hoped, we prayed, and we were good, little, silent people. But that's all changing. We tried to do things right while we watched them do otherwise. We did not have our hand out waiting for it to be greased by the pork they carried. Yet we've seen others ply their campaign coffers, affording them to stay in power. All the while our treasure was being plundered in the special interest groups and the bailouts. Finally, we said enough. Enough of the erosion of our freedoms and our rights. Enough of the wasteful spending, fraud, and abuse. Enough of the political gamemanship that robs all of us. We start now, tonight, with choosing our candidates, instead of them being chosen for us by political elites or the media. We've not always had the choice. It's been pushed on us. We're changing it. Tonight, we start our conversation with our candidates right here. We'll take the time to inform ourselves about the issues, the answers, and the directions we want to go to correct the problems of the last 40 years. Not 4 years, not 2 years, but since the 60s, we have been on a march downward. And it's from both parties, and that's what we're angry about. We will never agree on all the issues, but we must agree on holding our state and federal officials accountable to fiscal responsibility, to limiting the size of the government, and to allow the free markets to remain as free as possible. For without the adherence of those three core principles, you can forget about all your social issues, because it doesn't matter, they won't be there. Tonight is the first step of involvement by many of you. I ask you to remain involved, become an active participant